Gods haven't been changed, so for SK, going to be Hades with Isis and Terra, and against them will be standing Thor, Uranus and Poseidon, so defensive lineup, quite strongly defensive lineup, and against them, quite an offensive one on the other hand, so let's see what's going to be working better for either of the clans. I'm not really going to be calling any kind of favorites, as I've said a bit before. Keens last season with basically the same lineup were supposed to be favorites, and they lost pretty horribly to aggressive gods. So let's wait with any kind of ideas about who should be winning, and we are looking at pretty much a standard spawn in here as we are aiming for the right, and that's going to be Forbidden Voices, aka Scuddy, coming for the right side. And is he going to be joined by Purple, or is he coming top? No, he's coming top. There's going to be one again in the pocket. I'm kind of thinking that would definitely like the Hades to be in the pocket, so that they have easier access to the water, but at the same time, of course, makes sense that the Egyptian will want to join on the water side with the Norse, or rather with the Greek, the last civilization almost, because he will want to spam docks exactly as Egyptians do on this map, and they are strong with it, and that will of course make time very difficult. At times very difficult for Legend Jarl, and apparently also Akatsuki, who is going to be joining him on this side of the water. So first relic for better building Pierce attack, absolutely nice one, especially for the dogs. Actually not bad at all. That would be helping them quite significantly, and he's going for the backside in here, which I think, well, at this point it doesn't really matter, because of course Legend Jarl is apparently cooperating with his teammates, so he said, I'm gonna go front, you go to the back, but actually he doesn't have all that much of a walk time, so this is a bit more efficient in team game. It would be kind of weird in single player, but in single player you wouldn't be having your teammate come in there. Yeah, not exactly sure where I was aiming with this train of thought, but yeah, this is more efficient, because Akatsuki doesn't have to walk a bit more to the top, so he's gonna get his economy started a bit sooner, and that's a bit of a difference, of course, from Goldzin, who did have to go a bit to the north, so he's going to be slightly slower, but it's just a few seconds. He's not really going into some kind of extremes like the red player. He would be like about here if that was the case. And another pause in here, fortunately. Not really sure what was up, but nothing significant because we are at just a minute and a half and there is not any kind of fight going on. In the meantime, house and manor hit points. Cool for the defense. For the Oranos, who is on the other side of the map, kinda useless because it's quite far away. And yellow is discovering better villages farming rate. Well, that's not bad. That's definitely gonna come into play. And especially considering that we are having the Egyptians in here. Kinda sad that it's not Ra, but better than nothing. It's of course going to be useful for everybody. And we are going to be, for example, switching to the bottom, where Heimdall is just now discovering that Forbidden Voices is so far quite alone in this predicament on the fight on the water. And of course, he's going to be alone as well. So that basically just fits. Both are choosing double on the top, whereas single at the bottom. So, is there something interesting going on? Probably not. Let's just compare, for example, the build orders between the ISISes. So that's 3 on wood, 4 on food. That's just one mate. Who is the ISIS in here? On the right. That's 4 on food, 3 on wood. Next one is going on wood. One mate. And are they actually having the same amount of villages? They should be. They definitely should be. But of course, there's going to be a bit of a difference. And the reason why actually Forbidden Voices is faster because he's having the water quite close by and he didn't have to walk the same as Akatsuki. So it could be kind of fair to compare with Dara. And Dara is having 4 on food, just now 3 on wood. So yeah, this is exactly comparable to Akatsuki. A bit more than actually the ISIS on the other side of the map. So where are going to be the other docks? We should be expecting that Red will be put in another dock about... Yeah, well, depends how adventurous he actually feels being. It would make sense to put a rock about here to basically stop advance of Goldzin, who is definitely going to be aiming for the top. He already is for second dock about. This is a pretty sweet one. Usually want to place them on some peninsulas like these because they are a bit deeper into the water, giving you more map control and better chances for basically safe fishies. And yep, right now, yes, we are back and we are going to be continuing with the game itself. For example, gold mines, another interesting and important spot on Anatolia. We are having the double spawn, of course, as we are on this Turkish map, and one of them is in the front, but in a pretty safe position, not only because of the tree line right on front of it, But of course the towers, and since he's Egyptian, he's not going to be having any kind of problem defending this at all. Second reset basically for Heimdall, minus the towers of course. That's 1 gold for him. Where's the second? Let's actually the second gold for him. Am I blind or what? That has to be somewhere hidden. I wouldn't be surprised if it was in this how to call it, in this hole in the ground, in this valley. Yeah, that's the word that I was looking for, because otherwise I don't see a reason where else should it be. So I'm definitely curious, because this might be unfortunate map screw. But I don't expect that, because I don't actually remember seeing anything like that, similar to that, because 2 gold in the front right now for Legend Jarl. That's unfortunate, even though this one is nicely protected by the wood line and the tower, and this one also, so not that tragic. I definitely would have liked to have one at the back, but we should keep an eye if the gold is in this position. I think that it is, but we will definitely have to keep an eye on that to know what is going to happen in there. So one safe by gold, one front reasonably safe as well because of the tower. He's Egyptian. This one actually not that safe. It could have been a bit safer if it was closer to the tower or to woodline or anything like that. So he will probably have to wall in the middle. Not be expecting unless he wants to be raided by Turmas. Otherwise one at the back is going to be of course safe, and yeah, safe. The tree line is working quite nicely. So we are at 3.5 minutes and we'll be advancing, as there's of course going to be Athena from Putfire, aka Metal, and we should be expecting some standard goes from the other players, as well as we are looking at some more relics, or just the ones that we have seen so far. Those that we have seen. Pegasus Scout, that's actually a pretty nice one for this map, considering that we are having underworld passages and buildings crash armor. Yeah, well, that always helps. Always helps indeed. In the meantime, second dog coming up for Heimdall, as he's going to be advancing through Prometheus, almost already through a pretty decent advance time. His opponent is not advancing, going to be just now building the temple, so that's of course quite a lot of time before he advances into the next age, before he is ready. Pocket taking his time as usual. This is unusual. Woodfire taking so much time to advance into the next age is really unusual, because they are going to be giving up the water. You can see Red already drop in. A dock, another one. I think can reset right now for Goldzin and also Woodfire. And are they going to be actually trying to kill the scaling? Well, they are. But Herser is gonna be disappointing them, as he's arriving exactly as he should. And oh, this is a weird choice, to be honest, to me, for Legend Jarl. I would be really liking him. This doesn't make sense. I mean, yeah. Okay, yeah, it does make sense. I was right now thinking that he's already having 2 docks, but he isn't. And in that case, of course, he needs to finish the dock first, because he's advancing into the classical age, and he needs to start building as fast as possible. And you can see right now that he is right now pushing on him. That's exactly the difference between the scaling on the Would-Be Balance patch and normal units from Norse, because Norse units cannot be set to passive stance, whereas scaling could. So that was the reason why scaling could be continuing with building under fire, or under attack, whereas the Herser couldn't. That's actually very important and pretty good nerf to potential raiding like this, and help to the Norse. So one villager dead, second also, and he is... oh, haha! 156 hit points left, and he's not finishing. And this is actually pretty important, not only because this dock is not coming up, those 2 are not coming up, which leaves Metallo with just 2 docks. It's very important right now for Red to actually give him some kind of advantage, as he's already having quite a decent amount of bolts. But yeah, it's not going to be easy. There are so many docks, you can just put 1 fishing boat into them, and you are going to be pretty much safe to deal with it. But of course, economy for purple right now pretty much in toast, as we are right now switching on the right side, where Heimdall is also doing his job quite well, because of course his opponent was advancing just now, quite late, and he's losing all the economy. And let's see if Forbidden Voices is interested in some fighting. Apparently yes. He does have 1, 2, 3, 4 docks quite close by, but he's already on the attack from the land, and it will of course result in... oh wow! It's slightly surprising. I'm kind of thinking that it might have been worth it to take down Neferir Kare. That might have been worth it, even losing those 2 oracles. Because of course Pharaoh in this early stage is quite important for her economy, but let's not really dwell Yellow is so far not really helping all that much with the water fighting, just going for pure sane. Apparently for the economy, as he's thinking that Legend Arla is going to be fine, just by himself. Yeah, well, I don't think so. I don't think so, but if he plays it correctly, he could be giving Akatsuki enough time to advance into faster heroic, and then help him. That might work. If his opponent screws up, if their opponent screwed up, that could be really happening. Right now, pretty nicely played by Forbidden Voices, because these snakes are not all that much to kill the army, but to basically force it back and give him some more map control and more fishing boats basically able to safely gather from their spots. So that's very well played, even though it seemed kinda weird for you maybe. It's not, it's quite decent, and we can see Akatsuki just now coming for Prosperity, so both are going to be coming for faster heroic, and of course Yellow is going to be joining with his steel teammate as well for a bit of fun, as Anubite is trying to have a bit of fun. That might be the reason why actually he didn't finish the Pharaoh. He just wanted to defend against this mythical unit. Water battle at the top, still quite nice working, as Forest Fire has been cast. I haven't actually noticed it, but it's probably somewhere at the bottom. Yes, somewhere at the bottom, because I have seen on the minimap the Valkyrie running in there. Is it going to be anything all that significant? At all. This was actually fairly bad usage. Actually, very bad. Because not only is it not open in the opponent, this would have been open in your opponent basically full wide open. You would be just having raiding party into him by turmas and whatever. But you are also helping him with trade loot. It could have potentially been a choke point. And yeah, it's going to be slightly more efficient in here, so this is one of the examples how Forest Fire might not be used efficiently. So, fortunately that just happened. And of course, Heroic Age is right now in through Akatsuki, and of course, I'm fully expecting that Forbidden Voices is going to be quite close by. Oh, and I would be damn wrong. Huh. Okay, so he's not fast heroicing. Those boats are of course going to be absolutely owning everything in here, unless they are advancing to the next ages soon. Let's check. One he actually is. Metal is aiming for Heroic Age. Wow, purple, that's 5. Yes, that's 5. Also aiming there slightly. And Forbidden Voices, that's 4. No, that's 3 then. Also aiming into Heroic Age, but quite slowly, so that could be a pretty good opportunity with the first few siege boats from Akatsuki helping Heimdall and go into the offensive. And if they play it correctly and really push strongly, not even the hammer ships that are gonna come in from the docks in just about a minute are going to be enough to deal with the boats that are gonna be ready from the yellow player especially. Be kinda careful about the fishies, or rather fishies that would like to be fishies, so snakes. That's what I was looking for. And it seems to be not a really good fight. This is actually a pretty bad fight right now for the Keys of Death. They shouldn't have engaged in here, as both because of the snakes, but because of the fire of the docks and not enough support by the yellow player so far. But what we mustn't forget is that yellow is already aiming forward to secure the gold. So far not really coming for the Migdol, which should be basically the first one that he should be doing. Even before any kind of mining camps. And second TC being right now built by Goldzin. Already third actually, sorry. Does have second at the very back. And second also built by Putfire, and it's almost looking like that green is coming for the second also. So economy seems to be going quite strong, with second town center being attempted by Heimdall also. So everybody coming for the economy right now, and it doesn't seem like that Forbidden Voices should be having enough to put his opponents in any kind of trouble. But looking at the top side, it's really not looking that awesome. That awesome for the Keys of Death, but it's not really that bad either, so it's reasonably fine. Oh, Forbidden Voices really wants the water. He's not only using the snakes, but he's also using Ancestors on the water. That's very rare. You don't see that all that often at all, especially on a map like this. You usually use them even on the opponent's economy. You just drop them into enemy base. Since he doesn't have any kind of army, he is for 1 minute without any kind of echo. But he's thinking that it is going to be enough to push them out of there altogether, and it actually might be working. You can see he's pushing them very, very far away, and since he's in the Heroic Age, he should be following up with Leviathan at least, actually the only one that he needs, and so far not any kind of siege boat, so yeah, it seems that it's going to be working quite alright. let's not get ahead of ourselves, because there might be some kind of opportunity still for yellow to come back. Still building at least a few war barges. What though must be noticed is that actually Putfire is advancing forward, stealing opponent's third. That's actually going to be a pretty nasty surprise, because Legend Jarl is coming for the back TC and still fighting on the water fully right now with Akatsuki, and they're basically won. It's like that the water has been conceded by SKs, but yeah, having water and not having the front TC, that's not a good trade. That's not a good trade, and I would be taking the TCs anytime, even though I'm fairly certain that at 12 minutes, Putfire cannot really hope to engage with 4 town center army like at all. That's just a bit too much population limit for him, and he's aiming forward, potentially even hoping that he can steal some extra town center, because he doesn't have the view of the town centers as the Oranos is from the opposing team, and he's maybe going to be attempting to what? I was thinking he might be really trying to steal a TC, but there's nothing to steal, so potentially just gonna drop a wall to stop the trade. Some kind of idea, and of course that's going to be a pretty nasty surprise, because yellow is just in the middle, establishing himself very well. And it has to be said, this is well played. He's going to be controlling a lot of gold mines, and basically the middle of the map, together with Heimdall, who is also advancing in there. But yeah, he has already lost basically his base. So good luck dealing with that. And Hathor, is there some good spot for the locusts, or are they going to be waiting for something more strategical? Like this is going to be good use if they could get there. And apparently Legend Jarl is already preparing with basically second row of walls, or rather second row of walls. There is no first row. It's just going to be one row of walls, and unfortunately Putfire is already getting ready for it and going with villagers against heroes and mythical units. Yeah, well, that's not a good idea. Even though it's working quite interestingly well so far, I wouldn't really have gone for it, because the Manticore, that's a beast one. That's a beast one, especially because this dude unfortunately isn't doing what he should be doing. That resulted in actually pretty bad loss of villages, about 6 or 7. That's a lot. That's a lot. And right now, Putfire is quite nicely established, and maybe even advancing into Mythical Age. Exactly. He is going right now through Hephaestus. At 40 minutes, that's exactly what he needed. All the extra economy at the start from the water, and that's also the reason why he gave up on it so willingly. Because he doesn't need to worry about anything at all, because his opponents are not advancing, and even though they are winning the water and having a lot of population in there, just not anymore. Of course, going to be finishing with that. This is going to be a pretty huge problem. So Akatsuki going for the Ancestors for his defense, because he's attempting to go for a bit of raiding on the opponent gold, but much more than that, he needs to basically keep his opponent off this Migdol, as he doesn't seem to be ready for this battle at all. That's slightly unfortunate. Needs to be, well, I'll be kinda liking rather than a temple. I would be expecting another Migdol, because the situation is getting really pretty tough for him, and gold line is in a pretty nice spot. Petsuchos just coming up, another one, so Petsuchai are going to be coming in, and together with the siege towers and the army already, with the Elise and chariot archers, he just has everything that he needs to kill Akatsuki. So Akatsuki is probably gonna lose the middle unless he receives some significant help, which is probably not gonna come, as Legend Jarl needs to deal with problems at his home base, as he's moving with the villages on the middle of the map, as we are looking at the minimap in there. And of course Heimdall is under attack himself, with the Elise, which are usually pretty tough unit to deal with at this stage of the game for the Atlanteans. So Hyperion in. Interesting choice, with Satyrs. And what's gonna happen now? Well, the water is going still pretty strong. Forbidden Voices hasn't been able to win it all that much. There is still water fight going on, but nothing really all that significant that would be detrimental to his efforts. And at the top, of course, Putfire at the 40C seems to be having pretty strong economy and is quite ready to go into some kind of full offensive and especially get rid of this town center. But he doesn't have any siege. He's having just 4 hoplites, and he's not Zeus. So yeah, there's not really any kind of siege. And unfortunately for him, he's under pretty significant attack, but it's not like those guys are not really going to be pretty good. Oh, well. Well, that just happened. This is a problem when you go with 2 players for my gold mine. Whoa. So this is double problem. Not only have they lost the villages, but they are of course, yeah, out of economy of gold. It's going to be quite significant for both of them, especially for right now Yellow, who is trying to establish himself a bit further to his base, because he's losing the position in the middle, and he's going to be losing even more villages, and on top of that Heimdall also. So they have lost the middle of the map. You can see Heimdall has lost the town center on the right, and he's losing the grounds, basically the same as his allies on the left, which basically means, yeah, no gold for you left. No gold for you left, and I'm still not seeing the second gold mine right now, or actually Teal, and it really might have been a map screw for him. It's not like it would matter all that much in this map. Yeah, it's not really anything game-changing, because SKs are basically winning on their own merits so far. Whereas this is a pretty nicely played right now, with Legend Jarl using the Frost to get rid of all the army from Putfire, and that's quite significant, because with this he should be able to get rid of the villages and maybe even of all the military buildings. But he needs some kind of siege, like, I don't know, he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have even a hill fort or portable ramps. I'm not sure what's gonna be coming from him right now, but a lot of upgrades of course from Putfire. Yeah, absolutely everything coming in from him. Not Tatoch, Thought coming for Akatsuki, but yeah, not sure where he's gonna cast it. Probably would be the best idea to help his teammate deal with blue. As in the middle, he doesn't have any kind of good usage of it, and he's losing grounds in here, whereas on the right, he's losing grounds as well, his team. And Scotty is just advancing forward as fast as possible, doing a pretty great job of his attack in here against Heimdall, as the Oranos. So far well played, even though on the water, Heimdall could be really saying that he's winning. This is actually a lot of population limit. This is not a good idea. That's 3 population, that's 15 population limit. That's a town center. That's literally a town center. Let's check Yellow. Number 6, yes. Well, he isn't even popped, so it's not like it matters. But anyway, it's not a good idea to keep such a huge army. Even though he's probably hoping that he can actually keep his opponents from coming back in there. You can be left with just like 2. You can build more a bit later. Right now I'm going to be played in here. And, well, on the TC are coming the meteors, because this is a front of his, of Akatsuki, so he's trying to secure it for himself. Legend Jarl though has lost the town center at the back and is already been taken by Putfire as a 5th, and these meteors are not going to do anything at all, as this is already researched quite well to fortify TC, and Yellow is just losing grounds all the time. In the meantime, Blue is still very much present in this position, getting all the upgrades that he can get. Medium Tog swords still, but bronze, iron. That's a bit more important. And yeah, right now the GG is being called, as there's no way that Legend Jarl can defend against Putfire in here, and the Teal player is basically defeated by Skari as well. So well played by SKs, and they definitely knew what they were doing. Also, quite sneaky right now built at the back by Goldzin, trying to rub it in that his team has definitely won this battle. So let's check the post game. Skadi having the high score. Interesting choices of the god powers on the water in there. But yeah, worked in the end, so why not? Even though not really for the water, but overall for the gameplay, it did help him enough. So they were basically, SKs were playing for the early economy on the water, for basically the boom, for the push into the boom, and once they advanced into the ages and got the economy going, they didn't need it anymore, and they let their opponents overcome it and even let it up. It just didn't matter anymore, because they were already in another stage of the game. Late in that. 6 minutes advance time. It was quite fine for them. All 3 of them. Well, GG.